before you came into this life, you were connected to everything and everyone, because that's how it is on the other side. But you still maintained your single luminous thread of who you are. And this luminous thread goes all the way back to the beginning of time and will stretch all the way forward to the end of time. So we're talking a very long journey there. So when you came into this life, you were clean. The pain of childbirth was just an experience. There wasn't any context to put that experience into. It was just light and extreme discomfort, maybe, but there wasn't even a reference for discomfort. You were clean and clear when you were born. And immediately, you started being pressed upon, as Don Juan talked about, pressed on from everything around you to become a member of a reality. You were given a name, you were given a language, you were given a family structure, a social structure, a geographical awareness, maybe of just your home, but that's what you had. And this was all given to you by everything and everyone around you. But right now, we're going to stick just with your parents. Their influence on you, which was immense. It set up a lot of the patterns for your life. Then you go back to their parents, and you can see how their parents set up the meaning for their life. And you go back to your great-grandparents on both sides. And each one of those individuals was given a reality by their parents and everyone else that was in their modality of time. And then you start looking at who were the influences, who was the influencing factors of your grandparents, and as far as people go. There was their parents, there was their uncles, their aunts, their cousins, their friends, their enemies, all of that stuff that they had to create their reality. And everyone that touches them was also doing the same thing. They were being affected by everyone and everything around them. Everyone is affecting everyone within their field of consciousness, within their field of attention. And everyone is a single strand of luminosity that's drawn together by their mindset, by their state of mind, and by the law of attraction. So if someone needs to be abused, they will attract someone to them that will abuse them. And it goes on and on. That's just one little example. There are infinite examples. Mm-hmm. But you start seeing that humanity different. It's all convoluted together. The law of attraction pulls everything and everyone we know and what we don't know into our world, into our reality. And yet we're all connected. And in this cauldron, in this occult psychic cauldron of people blindly trying to find themselves, to express themselves, people trying to find acceptance and love, and sometimes being angered or injured and become angry and become hurtful. But everyone and everything's connected. And the more you see the connections just in your own family tree, it starts to become almost overwhelming. And then you realize that everyone that they knew, even their friends, were also connected that same way, just in a different way, but in the same level of reality. So all of humanity is just one big beehive. Everyone is working on themselves and pulling to them what they need. So when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It doesn't do any good for the teacher to appear until the student is ready. This is everyone going back hundreds, thousands of years. And what we see is the movement of humanity and how they're all interconnected together, moving up toward this moment right now where we're at. And the interesting thing is that this incredible force of all of these different souls throughout the ages have moved us up to this point. And there's a momentum and a trajectory of that movement that we can feel at this moment, and we project that as the future. But the past, which is creating this push of our consciousness into the future, doesn't last very long. Your great-grandfather was truly missed when he died. Everybody thought that you would remember him forever. And just 2 or 3 generations away, they fade away. The memories are there for some pictures maybe, but the soul has moved on. The past starts to vanish after a while, starts to go away. The future is a projection from the past. But it's not just your projection, it's the projection of everyone on the planet, moving this whole humanity in a direction. And if part of us can move our energy up to a place of enlightenment, then we will have changed this movement of humanity from all of this anger and destruction and fear up to a place of peace and harmony. But it's everyone on the planet. We're all connected. And it's everyone that's ever been. And it's all that we are not and all that we will possibly be. There is no guarantee of the future at all. And the past is disappearing rapidly. We think we know what the future could be, but what if the sun goes into supernova at 10 o'clock in the morning? Then we all start fresh. There is no guarantee about the future. And the past is imagined after a while. It's not what we thought it was. The past is never what we think. We think of the good, or maybe we only think of the bad, but we don't get the whole thing. But all we have is this moment right here, right now. A moment that is fleeting, changes a million times a second. And the only thing that's kind of permanent, if you want to call it that, is our consciousness as we move through these changes and these forces all around us. The force of the past, the force of the present, and the fear and the dreams of the future. And how we handle our moment in this moment is a supreme test of your enlightenment. You can't live in the future. You can't live in the past. But you can feel the trajectory and the movement of your soul. And if that movement is moving into a space of fear and anger, and mistrust, loneliness, then you determine within your heart to raise your vibration, to start thinking about positive and beautiful things, to notice that there's genuine love in this world. There are people who help people that don't even ask for help, but people help them. There are times when people do something nice for you. Pay attention to these things. This is just one aspect of enlightenment, just one little bitty piece of it. But if you contemplate on it enough and see the interconnections between the souls, how they are drawn together by karma, by their state of mind, what leads them forward into the future, all of their desires, all of their attachments are doomed to be ripped away, but the soul continues. Forever. Just as all of those other souls continue forever.